the wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Yeah, boy, we are coming right out of WrestleMania Night 2, and what a night it was. Welcome back. It is the late night edition of Ramblers Unleashed. I'm Dizzy, and we're going to dive right into the intros because we have no time to waste. It was a massive evening for wrestling. We're missing Maxi Pad. I'm not sure where he is, so we'll hold off on his intro for now. But first and foremost, let me introduce a man that needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway because he is the man, the myth, and the legend. He speaks the truth and holds no bounds of regard. And if you disagree, then off is the direction that you can fuck. He is the final boss. He is the high one. He is the Baron. Golfers clap.
Wow, Dizzy, you have to do yourself every single time with those intros. It literally gets me fucking like the heart racing and just ready to just ramble about stuff.
I know. Well, I'm waiting for you guys to write one for me.
Dude, I can't do that. I'm out of that one, bro.
Somebody's going to have to.
I ain't got that in me. I ain't got that dog in me for that one.
It's probably going to be Max, if anybody. Yeah. Oh, God.
That's going to be a rough one, though.
Yeah, it'll be a really rough one. And I'll have to write an even rough one.
Might have to let J-Bone do that. Might not tell Max about that intro.
Yeah.
It's more like a roast he's going to do.
Oh my God.
Speaking of roast.
Uh-huh. Oh, is he here? Well, welcome. He's late to the party.
Just don't mention anything for the last 30 seconds.
You're right. Yeah, you heard nothing. Oh, Maxie, let me introduce you, man. A man that not only holds the title for the world's biggest heel, but he also likes to change his prediction in the middle of WrestleMania, even though he was completely wrong. He is the only heel that really matters. You can call him Max, but we call him the Mighty Max Mages. Golfers clap. Max?
Yeah, you have to unmute, Max.
Oh, I know.
I
know what I was doing. Listen,
Oh,
I know what I'm doing. You people got to stop doubting me, especially those two of you that's sitting up there on the top like you are something special, because you ain't. We are, the two of us right here, we're the reasons people come to this show, not you two. All right?
Oh, man.
Okay, a little bit for J-Bone because of the toy collection. But listen, epic 2-night event. I don't even care what Disney was saying about me because it doesn't matter. We just finished watching WrestleMania XL, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and I can think of only one way to make this even better. Joel bigger and better than the Titanic because only 400 women went down on the Titanic. Gertner. I don't know what I'd do if I woke up in the morning and I wasn't me. Joel, the man who is so big he can't help from hurting or Gertner. Man, what a weekend.
Oh, yeah. Finally, let me introduce the man who keeps us on the air and broadcasting to the masses, the gentleman of gentlemen, for whom without him we'd have no show, and without his misses, we'd be in the direction that Baron tells people that they can fuck. The host of Smash This Podcast and Total Nonstop Impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great one. He is the infamous J-Bone. Golfers clap.
good evening.
Good evening, friends.
And handy here. This just came in the mail. Perfect timing. Our new world champion.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful.
Very excited.
Beautiful.
Yep, perfect timing because I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
speaking of Speaking of knowing it was going to happen, Baron, did you got the tally for the predictions that we did?
I do, and I actually don't have the full, full tally from night 2 because I just gave up halfway through because there was just one flawless victor, and his name is J-Bone. He went 13-0 in predictions.
That is insane. That is unheard of in this podcast. That is unheard of. I've never sat on a podcast where we've predicted WrestleMania or any other. I don't think any other pay-per-view where somebody got it right the entire night. That was awesome. Yeah, he is the Goldberg of Mania predictions.
Yeah. There was some cheating. There had to have been some cheating. He had some insider info or something along those lines.
Did you talk to Bruce Pritchard or something? My God.
I'm not a Bruce Pritchard guy. I'm a Paul Levesque guy.
I'm a Paul Levesque guy too, man. And what a way to usher in a new era with 2 nights of just classic professional wrestling. And I love the fact that Michael Cole said professional wrestling is back. I love that. Love it, love it, love it.
When did he say that? I missed that.
He said that right after Cody won, and it was they don't talk
really.
Heyman
said it too during his acceptance speech. He was about to say sports entertainment, and he stopped himself and he said professional wrestling, and you put whole arena.
Oh, thank God, because thank God.
Oh, I just got goosebumps saying that.
Oh yeah, totally. So let's go over our predictions. Oh, you do have a surprise. Okay.
I have a surprise.
Oh God, what is it?
Hide your children, hide your wives. Oh,
nice.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Man. And you can get that. J-Bone, where can they get merch, man?
You can get it on that one site with the one link. Hold on.
And while J-Bone looks up the link for our merch site,
the link is in the description.
Oh, look at that. The link is in the description. Now, Max, how effortless was it to not only pick your hat, but how seamless was the checkout, and how was the shipping and the handling and all that? Did it come swiftly, or did you?
I ordered this on Monday. It wasn't
That's what she said.
Quite what I wanted.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted a camo hat that said Ramblers, but no mesh. I wanted solid.
Yeah.
Didn't have that. So finally on Monday, I hopped on. I am positive I ordered a black hat, and this came in blue. But I'm happy with it anyway. I paid the extra money to have it delivered by either Friday or yesterday. And then I get an email on Thursday. Oh, we are so sorry, but your order has been delayed.
Oh.
Our factories are working on it, though.
Okay.
But then I got an email sometime yesterday. I didn't see it until this morning saying, hey, your product has been delivered. I was like, sweet, I'm going to have it in time for us to do night 2 predictions. And then J-Bone said, I'm old, guys. Can I rest instead of doing the predictions? And let's just do a results instead. I was like, I'll wait until we do the results to review it.
So what's the quality of the hat like, Max?
Is that flex fit?
No. Snapback. So you have
it is. Okay.
To your head.
Nice.
Yeah.
You still got the cap. You still got the.
I prefer.
He just got it, folks. He just got it.
I prefer the flex fit, but
J-Bone, if folks do want the flex fit, which I love the flex fit too, can they order the flex fit?
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 different varieties. There's like a beret, there's a trucker cap, there's different snapbacks, there's even like kids caps, and
nice.
There's even like bandanas. There's all sorts of stuff.
So shameless plug. Link is in the description of this video. You can go and shop and support us.
Not right here. That's my thing down there.
Yeah,
don't click on him.
Max. Don't click on Max. That'll pause the video and you play it back, and you just don't want that. You don't want that. It's in the description. All right.
So if you see the logo up in the corner next to Dizzy's head over here, that's a green one. There's two different logos in the shop. There's the one that he's wearing, which is the black and white one.
Yep.
And there's also a red one where
I'm the original NWO. They have the Wolfpack Ramblers NWO in the shop.
Yeah, so I may put out a couple different colors in the future just to change it up depending on what people are looking for. But that's the only two right now is the OG black and white and the red one. So yeah, you got a couple different ones to pick. So yeah, t-shirts, hats, mugs, bumper stickers, bandanas,
baby,
bags, all sorts of stuff. That's why I love Spreadshirt, because the quality is good. And the variety is outstanding. I can even order a crop top for myself. That's how sexy that shop is.
A crop top. Whoa.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. Not that anybody wants to see from here on down, anyways. But
well, unless it's Mrs. J-Bone.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mrs. J-Bone. Hi, Mrs. J-Bone.
Hi, Mrs. J-Bone. We love you.
You're getting a shout out, babe. They love you.
Yeah. All right. So
she goes, hello.
Hello. All right. Let's go down the card for WrestleMania Saturday, which honestly was just a wee bit lackluster, I thought.
And that's one man's opinion.
That is one man's opinion. Definitely. I understand why they did it. They didn't want to, over hype the crowd for Sunday. They didn't want to kill the mojo for Sunday, for tonight. So I understand why they did it now. But let's go down the card just a little bit with predictions from Ice. We'll go down Baron's picks, and I'm going to try to keep up with how I wrote this, because I was in a hurry to do all these predictions. So
I was doing them pretty good, and then it just things happen.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let's go down Baron's predictions. Night one for the 6-woman tag match between Bianca Belair, Jade, Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. You said it would be a squash match, and Jade would stare off with Bianca and how did that match end there, sir?
With them three standing tall. I mean, there wasn't a
stare off,
face off of any sort. I was kind of hoping that just so we get a match out of them, but
right.
It was a good match. I really don't think there was a bad match throughout the entire night. Night one. Just to go back to what we were talking about before the show, I just thought the crowd was a little lackluster. They ruined it a little bit, and I felt like each match it kind of drained more and more.
Right.
But this was still a really good match.
Right.
I liked it.
Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar. You said that Dirty Dom and Santos would go over.
I got it wrong, but you know what? We got our boy Jason Kelsey that came out.
Yeah, exactly. What a cameo, Kelsey, man. That's awesome. Let's see, the 6-pack tag ladder match between the Judgment Day, the Awesome Truth, the New Day, DIY, New Catch Republic, and A-Town Down Under. You said, Baron, that Awesome Truth and the would win the tag belts, and Judgment Day would win the SmackDown belt. Let's see, Brother versus Brother, which I think you got that right. Well, no, you didn't. We know that Awesome Truth won the Raw belts, and it was wasn't it New Catch Republic that won
A-Town Down Under one.
A-Town Down Under, yeah.
Oh, so you did get it right.
A-Town Down.
I picked Awesome Truth to win that, which I thought was a really good ladder match.
Yeah.
It was fun, and it's really good for our truth.
Yeah, for sure. Brother versus brother, Jimmy and Jey Uso. You said no yeet. Jimmy would go over. That match was, I don't know. It just, I was reading Bleacher Report today, and they were going over. They were giving each match stars, and they gave that match 1 star out of 5. Which I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
It was not a good match.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You're talking about the brother versus brother match?
Yeah. Bleacher Report gave it a 1 star out of 5.
I
wouldn't give it 1 star, but
yeah.
Jeez Louise. Look, it was booked well. They told a good story. The only problem was it wasn't long enough. It should have been a little longer, because it was one of the next biggest storylines in this company, going through the whole bloodline drama.
Right.
So yeah, it's like you could have given this one a little more, I feel like. But I mean, they still got part 2 of that tonight. We'll get to that. So
yeah. Cool. Let's see. Baron said for the Intercontinental match between Gunther and Sami Zayn, he predicted Gunther, and Sami Zayn won. Which, congratulations to Sami. He worked really hard for that. The women's world championship match between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. Baron said Ripley, and he was right. And the match to determine the bloodline rules between The Rock and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Baron chose Rock and Roman, and he was right. J-Bone. For the 6-woman tag match, you said Team Belair, Cargill, and Naomi would win. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos and Dirty Dom, Andre and Rey. You were right. 6-pack ladder match. Surprise Dudley Boys did not come out, but you said A-Town Down would win them all, which that was the only one that I think that you got wrong, honestly, because as we all know now,
I didn't know. There was a reason why I said that is because I didn't know they were going to do 2 different.
Yeah, no, I just counted. I just tallied the one if you got one right. If you didn't get one, then I wouldn't have. Because I don't think any of us really knew if 2 people were going to walk out there with titles.
Right. I mean, it was
because it almost went like that.
Oh yeah, it was almost up in the. I mean, it was definitely up in the air. For J-Bone, for brother versus brother. You said Jey Uso would win. Intercontinental match, Sami Zayn. You said Sami Zayn would win. For the women's world champ match, Rhea Ripley. And the match to determine bloodline rules, you said Rock and Roman. Max, you said, and you went your own little direction, but you said the match between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, you said Rhea would win. The IC match, you said Gunther would retain. The 6-pack ladder match, you said the Awesome Truth for Raw and the New Catch Republic for SmackDown. Brother versus brother, you said Jey Uso. Fresh Princess of Bel-Air versus Damage Control. You said Jade, Cargill, Bianca, and Naomi. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dirty Dom and Santos. Santos and Dom on a turn. And then
but if it hadn't been for those damn dirty Eagles.
I know. And the main event for the Bloodline Rules determination match, Rock and Roman. I said for the 6-woman tag match, Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos and Dirty Dom. I said Mysterio and Andrade. The undisputed tag 6-pack tag team ladder match, I said the Awesome Truth for Raw and New Catch Republic for SmackDown. For Jimmy and Jey Uso, I said Jimmy. The Intercontinental Championship match, I did say Gunther would retain. The Women's World Championship match, I predicted Rhea to win. And the match to determine the bloodline rules, The Rock and Roman. which I think we all figured out that the Rock and Roman would win. Now let's get to night number 2, because this
real quick.
Yeah.
Did you hear the official number for how many days Gunther was Intercontinental Champion?
666, I believe, right?
That evil Austrian.
I know.
Oh.
And over 1,000 days for Roman.
1,300 something.
Yeah, and they had over a combined total. I mean, night 2 in attendance was over 70,000. I believe 72,000.
77 something.
77 something. Yeah. So in a total, they were like what, 150 something, right?
140
something. Hold on.
Yeah, it was like 145.
It was like 144 or something. Yeah.
Snoop messed up the total number because he said 100,000. Or what do you say? 100,045 and 420. So the number was like 298 at the end, and I'm like, all right, he just wanted to scream 420, and
Oh yeah, he was elevated. He was at church for a higher elevation for sure.
I'm sorry, I got my numbers dyslexic. It was 72,755 for tonight.
Okay. Well, let's go over night number 2 tonight. It was a beautiful, beautiful WrestleMania. Night number 2, I think, killed it. Just stole the show. 4 predictions from Max. I'm trying to get my... Okay, the 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and the Final Testament. You said the Final Testament over Pride. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. You said over Flat Earther.
Damn right I did.
For the women's championship match between Io Sky and Bayley, you said Bayley over Io, which you were correct.
Ding dong.
Yeah. Let's see. The United States Championship triple threat match between Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. You said Logan retains, which I think we pretty much all knew.
Son of a bitch.
I know. The world. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
I was just gonna say, when KO was coming out and he was met by Sami, as in vice versa, the night before.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that a little bit of a hint, that KO is going to take this one? And then I'm like, okay, the only way this is going to be like one of the greatest moments ever would be like if KO won and then Sami came down and they kind of recreated the Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero thing from several years prior, just on a because it's got because it was such a great moment, but it's tainted. I'm like, okay, so now you gotta replace that. That's the only thing that would have made it better. But I love Logan Paul, man. The guy's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's fantastic in the ring. I enjoy watching what he's doing. And I'm actually really surprised they kept the belt on him because this guy is extremely busy, person. He's got a lot of social media activities going on, and so it looks like they're sticking it with Logan Paul for the long run, which is
he's
good on their part.
He decided he wanted to go full time. So I'm impressed with him for that. Yeah.
For sure. He's been killing it.
Continuing with Max's predictions, the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Max predicted that Drew would win and Damian would cash in and won, and he was absolutely spot on with that. And with the undisputed WWE Heavy Universal Championship match between Roman and Cody, he said Cody wins. Me, on the other hand, for Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, I said Cody. Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre was kind of up in the air on this one. I thought Drew would get it, but I predicted Seth, and I was absolutely wrong because both of those guys could go on to face CM Punk, and I think Drew will go on to face CM Punk at some point, but I think Seth will as well.
I think Drew will have the title back by Backlash, if not tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Well, I guess maybe not. Well, everybody's going to be on tomorrow's show, I assume, right?
Yeah.
It's usually how it works. I don't see Damian Priest hanging on to that belt very long. I would like to see him have a good reign, but I just think Drew McIntyre is pretty hot right now, and I'm glad he won against Seth. I think Seth needs to take a little break. I know he's been going hard for quite some time. So
yeah,
well, Seth is hurting.
Yeah, he's hurting. You could tell he's hurting.
Sure. For Io Sky versus Bayley, which was awesome to see. I said we could see the downfall of Damage Control. I predict Bayley would walk away the new WWE Women's Champion, and that was match of the night for one match number what?
One, yeah.
Yeah, that was
really, really good match, and I'm happy for Bayley.
That was one of the matches of the night for me. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens for the United States triple threat match. Honestly, I said anyone but Logan. Realistically, Logan won. And AJ Styles. As I predicted, I said this has big time potential as match of the night, and it was absolutely right. They absolutely killed it. But I did predict LA Knight would win. The Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testaments in the 6-man tag team Philadelphia Street Fight, which was kind of fun. I wonder if that was a test run for a possible trios championship for WWE.
I don't think there's going to be. I think that's just throwing some shit out there and hoping it sticks. Triple threat title thing. I think they're trying to squeeze as many people as they can into Mania. It's just a coincidence of sorts. I don't think there's going to be a triple threat title. I don't think there's enough teams that's going to come together to do that. And it never works out. I don't think it's a great idea.
Right. Yeah.
But it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. Snoop on commentary, primo.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and Bully Ray as a special guest. I totally forgot.
Bully Ray is this. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun to see him and bit of a throwback. So that was cool.
Oh yeah.
And I predicted the Final Testament to win. For Baron, he said Cody over Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre over Seth Rollins, Bayley over Io, Randy Orton over Logan Paul.
Yeah, that's the one I threw out there and did not work out for I was trying to, give some STL love out there, but didn't happen.
I feel you on that. You said LA Knight over AJ Styles. I think we all kind of figured LA Knight would win.
Yeah, that was his moment for sure.
Yeah. And Bobby Lashley with the Street Profits over the Final Testament. For J-Bone, you said the Final Testament would win. LA Knight, Logan Paul, Bayley, Drew McIntyre, and Rhodes. And I'm trying to find... Did we go over Max's? Yeah, we went over Max's. So, for the majority, honestly, J-Bone, you just killed it, man.
Yeah. But cheating.
Absolutely. Which now you will forever be known as Booker Bone.
Booker Bone. King Booker Bone.
So, night number one, let's talk about it a little bit. It was honestly, I mean, for me, I agree with Baron. The crowd was just not there, and I think they were just saving up their energy until night number two. But there were a lot of hit and misses with night number one, and I don't know where. I think maybe they were. Do you think they were just testing the waters to see what was a hit and what was a miss?
Well, it was cold. I mean, that's the biggest outline that came from, from social media. That it was super cold there, like in the 30s. Yeah. So I get it. You get drained pretty fast when it's cold, and it's not enjoyable to enjoy. To enjoy anything when it's cold.
Right. Right.
I thought there were some really good matches on night one. I'm not going to discredit that. I just felt like the crowd could have been much better for sure.
Yeah, it's freaking between 40 to 50 degrees. I mean, it started out at 50 something and it went down to the 40s. I mean, geez Louise.
Right.
That's hard on anyone. You know, you're out there. Yeah, you got a certain amount of adrenaline you're going off of throughout the match, but then your whole body, your whole muscle mass is not going to react like it normally would when you're in, you know, a 70, 80 degree building, you know, under the hot lights. You ain't going to feel that. And any heat by the lights in a stadium like this is going to go straight up, you know. And that's another thing. I mentioned this in the chat, but I wanted to mention this live. I know you guys were talking about the crowd and not really feeling it. That's the thing about in a stadium, you know, no matter how loud they yell, there's a good portion of the stuff. It's just going to go straight up, and the cameras and the mics ain't going to pick it up, which you wish they did mic the crowd a little bit. It would seem cooler, you know, to get that more authentic feel from the crowd. I mean, shit, night one, they were cheering The Rock and booing Cody. I mean, I heard that loud and clear, and that blew my mind.
So weird.
I was like, wow. It's so that really made me feel, I'm like, okay, now what are they going to do night two? Now it flipped around night two, which was like, made me feel a little better. Cause I'm like, man.
Well, and night two did start out a little warmer.
Night two
it was 60 degrees. And that's shorts weather for me, man.
By main event, it was 49.
Yeah. But you know, I gotta say this too, because I'm a big football fan and I've watched the Philadelphia Eagles play at home on TV. And I don't know if it's a difference between what the NFL does and what WWE does, but every time those fans are in the stadium watching the Eagles play, they are always loud, which it just
okay. But you
that's football though. That's NFL.
You have to take into consideration that you're not just seeing Philadelphia people in that arena. You got people from all over the U.S., from all over the world that have traveled here for WrestleMania and maybe aren't used to sitting out there for that many hours in the cold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different audience.
All right. Well, we can all
football people. They're half tanked before they even go in, so they're, you know,
and they're a little nuts.
They sit no matter what the temperature is, they're going to sit through a football game half naked, half plowed.
Yeah. I sat through a Broncos playoff game, and every time the Broncos scored a touchdown, I took another article of clothing off. I was topless for half the game. And it was cold, but I loved it, every second of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, night number one, I would assume that I felt that it was kind of lackluster because they were leading up to night number two being epic, and it really was. I think one of the things about night number one is that they didn't have the big like entrances. It was just mainly like the normal entrances, and I'm not used to seeing that especially for WrestleMania, because that's one of the big things about this time of year is that they, you know, give these like epic introductions. So night number one, there were some good matches, there were some bad matches, and I do blame the cold for that. I also blame the fans for cheering for The Rock and booing Cody Rhodes, but it is what it is because, you know, they're smart marks, whatever.
You know, those ladders hurt more when they're cold.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you could.
Oh my!
When they landed during that ladder match at one spot where I don't know who it was, but somebody landed on the ladder. It was he was hurting. So
after Grayson pulled down the SmackDown titles.
Oh yeah,
out on the one that was laying across the announce table to ring.
That's good. That's the one I'm referring to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see Grayson Waller the rest of the match. I saw Austin Theory because feasibly the rule didn't say once you win titles you're out. It just said the match isn't over until both are pulled. So Austin Theory was in there trying to get back up there at one point, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta say this though, it as far as it really feeling like a new era, when it started out with Triple H out there introducing everything, and you had that new, what do they call it, the opener,
the new signature.
Yeah, where they're all the legends are in the stars and stuff, and it's got the voiceover from Trips.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, this is sick.
I know.
And then Rhea Ripley coming out with the Motionless in White band, leading her out. Cool. Dude, that there is nothing that could have topped that as far as feeling like the start of a new era with Triple H, because it felt like what they do in NXT. When they got the heavy with the heavy metal bands in NXT.
Right.
And they were doing that more down there, as opposed to like WrestleMania, like they used to do that with WrestleMania all the time.
Right.
Shit, look at Limp Bizkit and all those guys.
They had a I don't know who it was, but they were running a vignette of the story, and behind them, during the music, the band was Nothing More, and it was playing a song that I actually downloaded because I love Nothing More, and I can't remember who it was that they were telling the story on, but the song, if you are interested in this, it's Nothing More. It's called If It Doesn't Hurt.
Yeah, I love that song.
That's a good tune. Really good tune. It's a fantastic band too. We were just talking about ushering in a new era, the Triple H era, as Stephanie McMahon called it, or the Paul Levesque era.
Yeah.
And what is it? Is it Paul Levesque era, or is it the Renaissance era? Because Triple H called it the Renaissance era, and now we're calling it the Paul Levesque era. So what is it?
So do you remember the end of Cody's match when he's over there going, there's a couple people that without whom I would not be here, and he was like,
I was surprised that he called out Bruce Pritchard.
I was too, but then he was like, and the other one's kicking and screaming, telling me not to call him down here. So knowing Triple H, he doesn't want it to be named after him because it's not him, it's us, is how he views it. So he wants it to be called something like the Renaissance era, not the him era.
Right, and I don't understand why. And Stephanie said it's the Paul Levesque era, but she said, nobody understands the fans better than Triple H.
Yeah.
So why? Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't know why we're confusing everybody. If it's the Renaissance era, let's call it the Renaissance era. If it's the Levesque era, let's call it the Levesque era and move on.
I think it's too early, honestly.
Sure. I think the problem is they don't know for sure because he doesn't want it to be called that. Other people want it to be called that. He sees it as more of a renaissance, and Cody agrees, and I agree. But how are you going to tell your wife no, right? I mean,
that's why when she's Stephanie McMahon,
the $1 billion princess, you ain't going to tell her no.
Well, Baron.
I mean, I think we're reading into it too much. I think they're just giving praise to Paul, to Triple H. Not really calling it an era. It's just like Attitude Era was Vince McMahon's era. Like they're giving kudos to Trips. I think it's going to be the Renaissance era. I think Cody Rhodes already trademarked the name, so I'm pretty sure that's kind of set in stone. But whatever era we're going with, it's fucking fantastic. Keep it going.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Triple H deserves every bit of credit. I think The Rock on night one during the media scrum was just, he was given Triple H this very, very high regard, and I said, absolutely, because here is a man who was already in the company as an executive during the time that Vince McMahon was there and everything that Vince was doing, and he stuck it out. He stuck around, and now that Vince is gone, it's his ship. and he's steering that ship into the direction that we need to go. We're finally being heard as fans, because for the longest time, as we all know, Vince didn't give a shit about the fans. He gave a shit about Vince. And now it's just so refreshing to come out of WrestleMania both nights and listen to, just to watch the product again. And CM Styles, he messaged me on Facebook, who he was not a big fan of WWE. He wasn't a fan for WWE for the longest time, because he was like us. He got sick of seeing the same shit week in, week out, year in, year out. And tonight, CM Styles told me that he is a fan of WWE now. And I knew that a lot of people would come back to the company once Vince McMahon was out and Triple H was in control, because we saw what he did with NXT.
So Styles also messaged me, and he sent me something. He said I could use if I want it. So I'm gonna give him the credit for saying this, but he says, dude, without Vince, Mania is now possible. The vision of Vince may be dead for Mania, but Vince's Mania will move on without him.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to give credit where credit is due. Somebody said this, and I don't know who it was, but they said without Vince McMahon, we wouldn't have WrestleMania. And that is true. That is so true. He, like I've always said, he is our Disney. He is our Walt Disney. But the way that he ran that company and the way that he was running that company into the ground and just blatantly ignoring the fans and what they wanted, because we're the people that buy tickets, we're the people that show up to your show, we're the people that buy your merch, we're the people that cheer on your superstars, the people that you're pushing. And for you to just continuously shove people down our throats that we don't want down our throats.
Hold on, because I'm going to play devil's advocate here for just a minute. The IWC has ruined that for the normal fans like you and I. The problem is that we can't have a voice because the IWC speaks so much louder than us, and they're whining the whine. We know that. We've talked about that. Okay? They had a brilliant story worked out for Daniel Bryan, and the IWC was like, you can't do this. And they've ruined it for the normal people, the normal fans.
I know. The IWC is an absolute toxic universe that unfortunately exists. And they have to ignore the internet wrestling community if they're going to continue bringing on a good product like this. And I for one am so excited to see this. I am ready to usher in a new era. I'm ready to usher in a Vince free era, and it's so good. What's up, J-Bone?
Speaking of new era, Vince free era, I have breaking news.
Okay.
Triple H in the press conference, and I just heard this courtesy of my wife. He just said that Stephanie's back in the business.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
To what capacity? I don't know. So I don't know. But
I'm not surprised. And let's think about this for a second. She left. Then Vince left. And she said, hi, I'm back. And then Vince stormed in with his stocks and said, I ain't going anywhere, damn it. I'm Vince Kennedy McMahon. And Stephanie said, I'm out. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he pretty much kicked her out.
She did so many good things for not only the company, but she did so many good things for women's wrestling. She made it relevant. Yes. Absolutely made it relevant. And without her input and her insight, I think that obviously it was just very lackluster because Vince didn't give a shit. So now
I think what we know now is we know who caused all the toxicity in the workplace. And it was one person, and that person is now gone from WWE.
Yeah. And how awesome was it to see Cody Rhodes hug Ari Emanuel at the end of the night. That was absolutely beautiful. That was so good. Max, what?
Oh, do you mean Nick Khan?
Was that Nick Khan? I thought that was Ari.
At the corner?
Yeah, it was Nick Khan. I was like, Ari, I'm trying to remember who that was.
I thought that
I'm trying to picture who we're talking
TKO.
about.
I thought that was
No, that was Nick Khan, and then he hugged a bunch of cameramen. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen Nick Khan. I guess I've never seen.
When he hugged the kid right next to him.
Oh shit! Pull up a picture of Ari Emanuel so that I know what he looks like going forward. Retract my statement. Erase that.
I just can't spell his name.
Ari. Ari Emanuel. Dude, okay. So they look alike to me, I guess.
No, they don't look anything alike.
I don't know. To me, I guess. Maybe I'm blind. I'm not sure. That might be. But there we go. Max is pulling up pictures.
I just sent you two. The first one I sent to the group chat is Ari Emanuel. The second picture I sent to the group chat looks nothing like him and is Nick Khan.
Okay. All right. So Dizzy's dumb.
All right. This is Ari.
This is Ari. And the next one would be Nick Khan.
All right. Hang on.
Yeah. That's the first time I've made a mistake. Oh, good grief!
I mean, yeah, they look alike.
And then there's Tony Khan. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, Tony.
No,
there's no. But
who is losing his mind as we speak?
Oh, you got to wonder what Tony Khan is doing. You got to wonder how Tony Khan feels after. He watched WrestleMania. He had to watch it.
Yeah.
You have to wonder what's running through the mind of Tony Khan right now from AEW.
I mean, for you to let go of a Cody Rhodes who was as hot as he possibly could be going right into AEW, I know this whole finish the story thing, but there was some shenanigans on the backstage or in the back from all this. Because Cody Rhodes really made AEW pretty damn good. So it's cool to just watch it full circle how it's all transpired. But yeah, Tony Khan is definitely shaking his head.
Yeah. I think he's shaking his head with Cody Rhodes. I think he's shaking his head with CM Punk. And there's a few others that I think Andrade is one of them. Jade Cargill. All the people that he basically kicked out of AEW or left AEW because of Tony Khan are now succeeding in the WWE thanks to Triple H. And this is a weird business, man. Everything comes back in full circle. People leave the promotion, they go to they go somewhere else, and then they come back. It's what we saw in the WCW days. People left WWF all the time, went to WCW because they thought the grass was greener and figured out that, the NWO is running everything here. So I'm just going to go back over to WWF where things are actually happening and I can get a decent push, and for Tony Khan to sit there and watch, because like I said, he had to have watched WrestleMania both nights. He has to be wondering, all right, what's the next step I've got to do to one up Triple H? And is there a step that he could do to one up Triple H?
It's totally two different, promotions. I think everybody just kind of needs to focus on their program and
right.
You're not going to ever, and I hate to say this, ever get to that level. You had that chance, a while back, and it kind of just gradually went downhill. I think it's now time to focus on building some stars over there because they need it really, really bad. And don't focus on those ratings and don't focus on, this WrestleMania because you're not topping that. Simple as that.
Yeah. This was one for the history books. This was a good Mania. Do we want to give it a rating before we hop off of here? You want to give it
both? You want to give us both nights overall rating, or
both nights. Put them all together. Put all the nights together, and let's give it a rating. And we'll go by bones because of J-Bone. So we'll give it 10 bones is the best. 1 bone is not. So Baron, what did you give it?
Dude, I'm gonna give this 9.5 out of 10. I would have gave it a full-fledged 10 if it wasn't for the crowd the first night. There was solid matches on both nights, and the ending of night 2 was, it doesn't get much better than that. Simple as that.
Yeah,
that main event was probably one of the best main events I've seen at Mania.
Seeing Styles gives it a 10 out of 10, which, by the way, Styles, can we send him an invite to the show real quick, Devon, just to see if he can get on here real quick, because he triggered something in me that, we've always said that we were tired of the same shit with WWE. Oh, okay, Styles is in bed. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you on, Styles, and get your point of view on stuff with
yeah, we'll get him on soon.
Hey,
dude, this is a PG show, all right? Except for Dizzy's box, it's a PG show.
Look, man, that box has been through hell and back with me. All right, fuck you. Speaking of, Max, how many bones would you give this WrestleMania altogether? WrestleMania 40, both nights.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because I'm saving the other bone for Tiffy. No, I'm gonna go. It was a great show. I was not disappointed. I am going to give it 10 out of 10.
Okay. J-Bone, how many U's would you give WrestleMania?
Oh man. I'm horrible at doing this. No, I'd give it I think I'd give it like 9.5. There's a couple things I'd tweak, but it's not because I don't feel like they did anything wrong. I would have, instead of Taker, I would have had Stone Cold. I would have maybe had Downstate, the band that does Cody's entrance, perform live instead of Lil Wayne or whatever, because Lil Wayne was like 15 seconds of ridiculousness. I would have tweaked a few things, but the show itself was.
Now you're talking about the Baron's boy. You're talking about
he brought up a great point and talk about entrances and stuff, but we didn't talk about AJ Styles' new theme song at all, and I thought it was absolute dog shit. Like I couldn't hear it, understand it. I didn't know what was going on. It was just like, I don't know if the audio was bad or it was just that bad of a song. Like it was not.
You'll probably understand it better, like when they play it, like in a regular arena. It's still relatively new, but yeah.
So, well,
hey, Courtney's in here. What's up, Courtney?
Courtney. Yeah, I have to agree with the Baron on that one. You really couldn't understand AJ's new theme song, but every other song that they had that was pre-recorded, in a studio, like Cody's, you could understand. So I don't know. That was kind of I want to hear AJ's new song.
Yeah, I might have to pull it up on YouTube and give it a listen because I was not sure what was going on.
he needed something. He needed something new. He's a heel now, so usually they flip things around to give it a darker look, feel, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of the same. Even though The Rock is all instrumental, it was kind of the same way with The Rock. You could barely hear his new entrance music in Philadelphia. But
I mean, again, that's the problem with an open air arena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. I wished it wouldn't do. I really wish it wouldn't do open air arenas on Mania anymore, because the past Manias, the early Manias, were all closed stadiums. So I don't know. Would it be better?
Well, and it was smaller arenas too. It wasn't until they were doing arenas. Look, even when they did like the Hollywood one, and that was they did like just some little arena, 20,000 people. And then they started really going after the stadiums for the big shows, and now look at this. Now they're booking these big ass shows internationally, not just in the States. They're going to France. They're doing a SmackDown from Riyadh with King and Queen of the Ring the following night. I mean, they are really. You can tell this is a new era.
Yeah, and they're taking their backlashes in France, so that's gonna be cool. Because I don't think
and who better to represent the new era than Cody Rhodes? And I have to give props to Roman. I know people hate on Roman and say their stuff about Roman, but he has really matured in the last 3 years as a champion. He was definitely super green beforehand, but he's absolutely destroyed it the last 3 years, especially with the bloodline stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting as to what happened to see what happens on Monday night. Monday is going to be a really, really good opportunity to see, what factions fall and what factions stick around, and even on SmackDown too. We're going to get to see what factions are going to, hang in there and what factions are going to split up, because. That some stables are going to just disappear. They're going to break up, and I think the bloodline could be one of them.
Well, and it's also we talked about this a little bit a show or two ago, that the draft is coming back. That's going to have a big deal to do with that. So it's just look, it's as long as they don't break up the Dudleys again, I'm good. I just oh wait, sorry.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, the draft is going to be interesting to see where everybody is going to go. I think Cody will stay on Raw. I think Roman, if he sticks around, Roman could possibly go to SmackDown. And
I think it's safe to say he's going to be gone for a while. But when he comes back, I mean, the shit they've done drafts and people have been gone. And they've drafted him, so nobody's safe in a draft. Nobody's safe. I think Seth Rollins is going to be gone for a while too. He needs to heal. Wasn't
James Ellsworth gone for 3 weeks, released from the company, and he still got drafted to a show?
Right. Yeah. Like I said, nobody's safe from a draft. But it's going to be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see where people are going to go with the draft, because they always throw in monkey wrenches with the draft, and it's fun. The draft is fun, I love
the draft.
It'll be interesting to see, because now we have 2 full-time GMs for each brand, and Paul is overseeing everything. So, and then we're going to draft J-Bone to AEW. Drafting J-Bone to Tony Khan's camp.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can do that.
I mean, unless he's paying good, that's fine.
That with Max, but
yeah, Tony Khan found out he went 13-0 with predictions. Just going to sign J-Bone right to AEW. Let him book the whole show.
Listen,
here's
Tony.
Just a little bit of advice, okay? When you go to work for Tony Khan, the bump he offers you is not the same as you're used to from the WWE, okay?
Exactly. Yeah. Don't take the bump, please, for the love of God.
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like here's the start of the next meeting. Be like, oh yeah, we need to get that Booker Bone in here.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, that's a line. A bump is when they put it like on the finger and go.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have.
Yep.
No.
Yep. So that's it. That's WrestleMania.
What was your prediction? What was your rating?
My bone. Oh,
you didn't do
honestly,
no bone.
I know. I didn't.
Bones, baby.
How many bones? Let's see. For both nights, and a little bit of this has to do with the crowd's interaction. I would probably give it 9 bones out of 10, because the crowd interaction, and that was the main thing, and the cold too. The cold did not help. So, but overall, it was a really, really solid WrestleMania. And this needs to be said too. The vision of Vince may be dead for Mania, but Vince's Mania will move on without him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank God it's a breath of fresh air for the company, not only the company, but wrestling fans too, because now we're being heard. So that's the most exciting part, is that Triple H, even he said, and I think The Rock said this too on the media scrum, or somebody said this on a media scrum of night one. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear if you're upset with something that we did, let us know. If you're happy with something that we did, let us know. What works. We want to know what works so that we can make this product better, and we can make it soar. Because
right.
That's what it is, man. And I think it was The Rock that said that. So
let's take it home. I'm going to end my part by saying I am the quintessential muff stuffer. I'm sorry. I mean stud muffin.
There you go. That's going to wrap it up for us. Wow. We will be back on Saturday, normal time on Saturday at around 1 o'clock Central Standard. And we invite you to join us. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon for more live notifications. When we do go live, you will know. And how is social medias? Let's go. Baron, how can they follow you on socials?
Scumbag Jordan, 3 N's on the X.
There you go, Maximus Magus.
All right. You can find me at Max Magus. You can find my other podcast, the nerdy thing with the Our Shots podcast, where you can go to the website at which is random-shots.net.
There you go. Jabon.
Oh, you can find me on that little Twitter box at JAYBONE 5150. And you can also find me over on the TNI or the STP. TNI on Thursday nights, talking everything TNA.
There you go. And you can follow the show at on X. You can find us at The Ramblers Pod. Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. And of course, tell your friends about us. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification or bell icon for more notifications. And Styles, you can follow him at Jobbing for Hot Dogs and Handshakes.
Your hands are shaking the hot dogs, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
What?
On various different platforms. I'm sure. I wonder. Never mind. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. And until next Saturday, we will do it all over again. See you later. At Deactivated Styles. Follow them.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.